So hello, this is video from my life coaching project 2021 series, which I really am enjoying. Of course, we're still in lockdown, and this is just to say that this is not to discriminate or harm anybody in this content. And please, when people do this type of content, don't use it against them, because I'm working on a Be Smart campaign. So if you'd like to give it a shout out on Twitter and on Instagram, please do, because I'm going to do like a short video for Instagram. Let me put it down. So sometimes when you do blog work, you do tend to get things in your head. Because the Be Smart campaign is basically protecting everybody online a lot better. But today I'm talking about dealing with divorce and becoming single again. Now, I'm not one who's had loads and loads of boyfriends. I've not been. It's just not something that I, consciously sort of think about really. Lots of my friends did, but I wasn't. I was happy to still be very much single for a while, and I just wanted to enjoy my life, as a teenager, because I found sometimes it's a struggle, but going on holidays and meeting friends, at weekends after when school was off for 2 days. I was more interested in having a good time than having a boyfriend, So I never had a teenage, sweetheart as such. I knew I've come to know that there was somebody that I'm now with that wanted me, from a young age, but he would, obviously he's not he wouldn't, and he's not someone who is saw me in, a I feel like I've dug myself a bloody grave now. But basically, I never believed in secret admirers, but I do now. And we've met on and off in different places, and then we're finally together. Even though that's been questioned as well, but I have. So, dealing with divorce. When it all depends on the relationship, that's what I'd say. Every relationship is different, the circumstances are different. What I would say though is to just get used of your own company, and you can always tell when things become, it's an end of a marriage when a Dyson Hoover or vacuum cleaner is more important than you, that becomes, your partner's new love instead of you, And I used to say, that you do realise that gets more action than what I get, and when you want to be in different rooms, that's when you know that things aren't good, So, and it can take a while to walk away, because I think there are relationships like the ones I've been in, or we'll say one I've been in, where I stayed with it because of security reasons, but not because I was actually in love with the person. And I think then speaking to that person, they also felt the same way. I never wanted to end on bad terms in any sense of the word. I didn't, and I do feel sorry if that came across that way, but it wasn't. It was just that a lot of things were going on, and I just wanted to know the truth about something, and that was it, But you know, when a marriage comes to an end, it isn't easy. You do have to adapt to single life, but I kind of knew a long time ago, as well as the person I was with, that it wasn't working. And COVID, even though it has been hard for a lot of people, you know, it did give me a way out of my marriage, because I'll never be with somebody just for the sake of it, and I felt that I wasn't being true to myself by doing that. So that's why I did end it. And he made it clear that it wasn't working either. And it's not so we didn't try. I was married for 19 years, so but sometimes you just have to admit defeat. Especially if you or they start looking in a different direction. I think you never marry to divorce. You marry to be with that person for a long time, but when you start seeing cracks in the carpet, like you can't even sort of have a discussion about a film without having a massive argument, that it's coming to the point where, and I even said that if we get to the point, I've learned from my parents, if we ever get to the point where we can't stand each other, let's just end it applicably and leave it there. And that's what we always said. But did it end that way? No. So don't be surprised if it ends harshly sometimes. Because people get involved as well. And that's the other thing and that's one thing you need to be wary of. You will always get those who say they won't take sides, and they do, And it's been an eye opener to me, actually, to see who stood by me and who didn't, and you do find that when things change and it's been a tough time, who your friends and family really are, it really does make you see that, a lot of it wasn't true, and I don't think even me or the person that, I was married to felt truly connected with me, like the same with them, but we saw, that we sort of had things in common, because when I met them, I was working at a holiday camp, and I was doing lots. I was working in the restaurants. I was unaware of it, but I was working in different venues as well. I would get up on the stage in a venue called Jack's in most nights, so I think it was because sometimes when you're outgoing, you do kind of meet other people that are outgoing, and that's what can sometimes bring people together, even though there's lots of other pieces missing in that relationship. And that was definitely the case in ours, where we did, I wouldn't say we didn't fancy each other. We did in a way, but not how we saw other people, that was also looking at us in that direction. There's somebody, the person I'm with now is someone that I kept seeing on and off, but we never actually got together, and neither of us can figure out why, but it's because other people, once again, getting involved and trying keeping us apart, and you just find that you just drift away from each other, and that's what it felt like. And it became like we were like roommates rather than husband and wife, And it's not that we didn't talk about it, because we did. We sit there, we had sat would asking questions, like, because I said, when it was going to end, I said, I do think that we should split, because I feel like there's nothing there anymore, you know, and he was like, fine, you know. And then I said, you know, we're like two single people living in a house rather than a partnership, you know. And but no, I was never gonna stop him from, you know, seeing Henry, my son. But I'm not, there's somewhere I want to go, but I'm not going to go there yet. But basically, you know, I've got other family that some people I know that have a close connection with Henry, who, you know, because when kids are involved, you do have to be careful because you don't want to be putting them in the middle, and that's what I try to avoid. You know, I love Henry. I don't hate it when people guilt trip and do emotional blackmail, because you find people do that when the marriage breaks up, you know. And I'd say stop doing that, because you're just making yourself look like a shit stirrer, and you know people that do that know that you care about your child. It's just that you don't want to see that person that you're leaving, because you just want to have that time where you just are on your own and doing your own thing, you know, again. And you have people sort of trying to intervene. It's like, will you just, you know, F off. You know, you're not married to the person. I was, you know, not you. So, you know, F off. Don't butt into relationships where you weren't, you know, involved in it in the first place, you know. So, you know, and you do find that with an end of marriage that people do take sides. You do get people shit stirring it. You do get people using emotional blackmail because of it, you know, and you can often see a tear in relationships which you thought were secure, but they weren't, you know. And it makes you realise that you know, perhaps it was, I mean, I do feel in some way that you know, perhaps I know I made the wrong choice, but then sometimes you just don't know, do you? You know, you don't know what's happening. I'm one of these people who do often see the future, even though I don't call myself psychic. I think everybody has. I do believe in what's the word? In what's it called? Not psychic, but I do believe in telepathic, and like I often see places in my dreams before I've been there, if that makes sense. Premonitions, that's it. I do believe in premonitions a lot. I was reading a book, and I wish I'd continued reading it, but it was about how dreams can give us signs about if we've got a hidden illness and that. But it was a book that I couldn't really get into, but something I've been really interested in reading is about dreams, because I've had some real strange dreams, you know, since I've been on this earth. And I used to even dream about an entire film, you know, and literally an entire film, and being in a film, you know. So I do think that you do tend to see things before they happen, but you don't realise, you know. So I do believe in that. I know a lot of people don't, but because of, you know, I've experienced it, I do, you know. But I don't judge those who don't believe in it, you know. And that's another thing, you get people who judge. I absolutely hate judgmental people, because they just absolutely fuck me off. I do not like people who are judgmental, because they wouldn't like to be judged the way they judge people. And I do believe in the 10 Commandments, and the one that I always follow is, don't judge those don't judge others like you wish to be judged. And that's something that I am very conscious of, that verse in the Bible and of the Ten Commandments. It's one that I always stand by, you know. And I do believe that, you know, in prayer, I do. And, you know, with divorce, when a change starts to happen, I do start to pray, you know. I do. It's just like a pattern that I've always followed, and it's what's guided me through my life. I mean, again, if you don't believe in that, then that's fine. I'm not gonna, you know, hold it against you in any way. Everybody's different, aren't they? But it's what's given me a sense of power and has kept me driven, you know. And, you know, being single again, there are advantages. You find that in terms of financial, you know, a lot of people, you know, do see that, you know, financially, and that's one thing that I think that can affect a marriage is money, you know. I mean, I've always been a saver, and I was with someone who was very reckless with their money, but they did save, you know, the Jew, but they would spend it on gadgets where I would spend it on a holiday. Do you know what I mean? I invest money where they, as soon as they get it, they want to, you know, splash out. I mean, I do shop, but I do it in a shrewd way, and a lot of people think that, you know, I'm all bit of, you know, nose and noses, because I divide now my finances quarterly, and now I want to talk about this because it may help me. And since I do it quarterly, I have found it to be able to be managed better. Now I do have someone who I am seeing that is managing my money now, and it's been a real release and a weight off my shoulders. But that can fit a marriage, because sometimes if you're the only one bringing money in, you know, you can feel a bit like, you know, you're on your own anyway. And I've always contributed, even though some argue, I do, you know. I pay my way, and I was paying for like the telephone broadband, now TV box that we got, but some of the furniture in there, you know. I always you know, spend my money, but I am very logical. I thought I lost the girl used to love saving, but I haven't, you know. I invest. I don't buy, I invest. And the very first TV I ever had, I saved my pocket money for, and I did. And so, you know, and doing that, you know, money can really affect a marriage, and be a reason for breakup. And then when you become single, you find that you do tend to be financially better. But it's not saying that in the relationship now that you know, I don't want to be that person, because you know, I found that leaving the person I was with before, except for money, the person I'm with now is sort of, I know it's the real thing, because it's just, I've now got that connection where I know that they're going to be supportive. They're not going to hold everything against. They're not going to hold things against me. They're not going to nitpick. They're not going to put down my work. They're not going to be judging. They're just going to see me for me, and that's what I've always wanted people to see me for me. I don't believe in being somebody else. No, I don't. You know, there are a lot of people that think that because they live a certain way, that everybody else should. And I know it probably like contradicting that because of my blogs, but no, I just share my experiences that perhaps that would help you, you know, like this video. But I don't believe that just because that I buy, for example, Nike trainers, that everybody else should buy, and that everyone should buy them. It depends. It's up to you, you know. But if I share it because it may be something you're interested in, but I don't force it on people. And I think when you become single, you find that actually sometimes the pressure, because I often feel like in some relationships there's that power struggle, and I think I had that, and now I don't have that, and it's been a real sense of relief and a guilt and a, I want to be careful because I don't want to sound like I'm having a pop at that person, because I'm not. I did admire his focus on things and the way like he used to do things all the time, but at the same time I saw that we were very different. He lived ready to retire, and I lived because I always wanted a better future, So, and I think that sometimes my marriage will break up because you're not on the same page, and I think it is important that when you, want to be with somebody, find somebody that is actually on the same page as you, because I do think that's very important, because then you don't have that power struggle, you admire each other's work, you admire each other's company, you admire each other's personality, you don't nitpick or find everything you can against that person, because it becomes then toxic, and I'm standing clear of toxic relationships now, because they just are, as I see, human bloodsuckers, because that's what they do. They want to bring you down and make you feel as crap as they do, and I think that it may actually made me stronger and more believing of true love, so that's what I wanted to talk about in this self-coaching video, because it may help you if you've been divorced. I'm just making aware that if you are getting divorced, there will be people who will take sides and say they won't. There will be people who then find it difficult to talk to you because of it, and when it comes to single life, there are pros and cons, but for me it was what I needed at the time. So so I hope this helps you, and I'll see you next one. Take care. Bye bye.